Hello Gizmox users, welcome back to our Visual Web GUI tutorials. In this video tutorial, we'll observe a new Visual Web GUI feature called Form Security. To do that, we'll create a small sample application that demonstrates the form security mechanism within the Visual Web GUI project. The form security allows you to integrate a file system-based permissions mechanism into Visual Web GUI apps, which run in an Active Directory environment in Windows operating systems. This is done by generating a dummy file for each form in an application in a dedicated directory under the application root. Then, anyone, for example, a system administrator, could leverage access to application forms by modifying the appropriate dummy file permissions through a familiar IIS manager or file system interface. In order to use the form security, you should enable it in the Visual Web GUI integration pages. This can be found under the General tab, and after checking the form security checkbox, save and build the project. Following this, open the IIS Manager. Go to Authentication Settings of your Visual Web GUI app and make sure you have disabled the Anonymous Authentication and enabled Windows Authentication. After that, switch to Content View. As you can see, there is a new folder named Visual Web GUI Form Security under the application root. This folder contains the dummy files for every form existing in your Visual Web GUI app. Here you can configure the form's permission for different users. By default, Form Security provides 3 permission levels: full access, read-only, and denied. For example, internal data form should be accessible in read-only mode for Alex. First of all, make sure that everyone has permission to read the file permissions. For read-only mode, please check Read Data checkbox. In order to prevent a user from viewing the private data form, remove all the file permissions except the required read permissions. By default, the form is fully accessible. This means the appropriate dummy file has both read data and write data permissions, and therefore is no need to configure public data dummy file permissions. The sample app demonstrates a simple scenario. There are 3 forms displaying public data, internal data, and private data. As you can see, the public data is fully accessible for everyone. The internal data form is opened in read-only mode, which means all of the form controls are disabled, while the private data form currently is denied for everyone. Well, that's it for this tutorial. Thank you very much for your time.